Hi, thanks for joining us on a very special edition of Two Guys and a Lotta Wine. I'm Bobby P.
And I'm Rocky Holland.
And you're in for a treat tonight because we have two special guests. One special guest in particular who was wonderful enough to bring in all these fantastic wines we'll be doing tonight, which is French Wines Part Deux. Part 1 was last month. Mr. William Chegwidden, Managing Director of Drinkable Arts Imports. And he has a wonderful French accent, which you will hear shortly.
Oui.
And we also have Viviane Grady, world traveler and also wine expert herself, who's just come back from Russia. And we are in for some interesting wines tonight. So thank you both for joining us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So William, please tell me about your company and what we'll be drinking tonight.
Okay, the company we founded 3 years ago, but we started selling in Connecticut just a year ago. And I do it with my daughter. She was born in France, I was born in Connecticut, and now we crisscross back and forth between the two countries. She's my main salesman, and we only sell French wines, unfortunately. For
That's
some
not
people.
unfortunate at all. That's probably my favorite type.
And this evening, I brought with me a rosé, 2 whites, and 2 reds. So if we have time, we'll be tasting.
And these are all wines your company
We sell them
directly is-
directly in Connecticut, either in retail stores or in restaurants. We have quite a few of these wines in this wine, and this wine is right down the street here at the Harvest Restaurant
Yep, people are familiar with that
in
one.
West Hartford.
So what could you tell us about this first rosé, which we poured earlier? Beautiful light color.
So this is made in Provence, but it doesn't have the AOP Provence, and the reason for that is
Because it was grown on the plains and not on the hills.
They're very technical.
Totally was fed
That's a
that
trick
answer before we
question.
started today,
Okay.
so anybody that was impressed by that, don't be.
Same estate. It's in Provence. Now, the Provence is in the village called La Crau. And actually, when you're in the estate, you can see the Mediterranean. So you've got the breeze from the Mediterranean coming in on the grapes, the sun. And it's been said that Edith Wharton lived about 2 miles from this castle. And the family's been making wine for almost 500 years from it.
And I can tell you right now, my first sip, I can see that. I think the beauty in this rosé is both light, low acidity, at least, I mean, it's silky. It's silky.
So just to clarify, the IGP and AOC that we're talking about here is just, it's a ranking system, I guess you could say,
Absolutely.
in France that they use. They use it throughout the world, but those are the 2 designations. Whereas IGP and AOC is up here, IGP is here. That's the simplest way that I could describe it without boring everybody for the next 20 minutes. So.
IGP means Protected Geographic Area.
And William, I have to ask you, and I've asked Rocky this question before, but I want to hear it from your perspective. People who drink rosés and they'll just drink California rosés or Chilean rosés, whatever. What makes French rosés so special, especially for me? What do you think makes French rosés so special?
No other country in the world has le Mistral. And the Mistral is the special breeze that comes off the Mediterranean and just hits the grapes.
Kisses them.
It kisses them.
Yeah.
That's it. That's the difference. And the soil is everything. In France, on all of these wines, the biggest factor is terroir. And terroir, it comes from terre, ground, earth, and soil. So it's everything that makes up the wine. It's the way the sun hits the grapes. It's the soil, what's in the soil, the way the different plants, especially the Côtes du Rhône, where you have la garrigue, which is all of the different mountain herbs that come into making up the wine. So all of that, no other country in the world has a rosé from Provence. You have to be, it's like champagne.
That's delicious, and it has a nice finish.
It does. Yeah,
Very
it's-
nice finish.
It's got a little bit of an herbal quality to it, which I like in wines.
Just a little
So,
bit,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Very subtle
Tasty,
strawberry,
yeah.
very, very subtle strawberry.
And
if
not
any.
like sweet. Like
No,
sometimes when you
not
get a
sweet at all.
rosé, it's very sweet. No, this one's lovely.
Well, William, that was a thumbs up for me on this end.
Thumbs up for me.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So we're going to go right to the next one. I'll pour while William's talking what this one is.
So this is one of our Sancerre whites. So Sancerre, for people who might not know, is Sauvignon. So it's a Sauvignon white grape. Sancerre is a beautiful little village that is in the Loire River. It's at the absolute end of the Loire River Valley. It used to be a part of Burgundy, but now it's part of the Loire River Valley. And the Sancerre winemakers just did some great marketing. Of course, Sancerre was one of the big wines in that 50 Shades of Grey movie that I've never seen. And apparently a lot of people buy it because they saw the two people in the movie drink it.
That happens a lot.
So this is Sauvignon, and you'll see it's flinty, a lot of minerality.
That's what I like in Sauvignon Blanc. So a lot of the American consumers like the Sauvignon Blancs that come from New Zealand, and I would define that as just in-your-face grapefruit and grass slamming you in the face. This, if you like that, but you want something that's a little bit more of a tamed-down version and has some minerality to it, I would suggest trying this. And this one's excellent too. By the
Your
way.
point is
we haven't ranked
is complete 100%. I know a lot of people. My wife even loves the strong Marlborough Sauvignon Blancs, but I prefer the French, particularly for this exact same reason. This is so
with
good.
Sancerre for sure.
It tames that citrusy down, and you're tasting more.
Yep.
And it gives you the same effect. It's still a very refreshing wine.
And of course, Sancerre was the favorite wine of Ernest Hemingway, who would drink Sancerre and eat oysters all day long.
That would be a fabulous pairing.
Everything from Loire goes
Yes.
great with oysters, especially Sancerre, Muscadet. That's
I
what
think it's
about.
the citrus at the end. I
Just-
can imagine just
yeah.
oysters with a little bit of lemon or a champagne sauce.
The man must have had a
Excellent.
raging libido with the oysters
I-
and the Sancerre.
Yes. I get in the mood for oysters every now and then. It's either got to be something from Loire, Sancerre, or champagne with oysters.
Oh, champagne with ice is good
I
as well.
got to go get some oysters after we're done here. Now that we're talking about this.
But once again, the flavor of this is so summery right now. And obviously we're in June
Yeah.
right now. You're going to see the show in July. But on your patio, on a deck, at the beach, on a boat, wherever you are, both these two that we started off with would complement a beautiful, warm summer evening.
And I'll say for me, I am not a Sauvignon Blanc person at all, but this I will drink. I'm more a Chardonnay person, but this is lovely.
I don't drink any Sauvignon Blanc outside of the Loire area, in particular Sancerre. That's
So, Rocky, with your tasting ability, and I know you've done a lot of tastings, you could pretty much pick up Sauvignons where they're located.
if you've ever done a side-by-side with different regions with Sauvignon Blanc, they are distinctly different. You wouldn't know if you go from day to day and then you get one day, but if you do a side-by-side, I would say that the thing that stood out to me the most the last time I did a side-by-side with Sancerre and New Zealand is that New Zealand smelled like jalapenos. It was like a jalapeno and kind of like an oniony thing that was going on. So compared to this, it's just more delicate and flinty and minerality.
And William, the price point on this one?
It goes from $18 to $25.
Yeah, that's a certainly reasonable price point for this quality of a white. And do you have a lot of whites in your profile? On your
We have quite a few. Right now we've got about 7 or 8. We have a few Sancerres because we can't get enough Sancerres. Everyone wants Sancerre. We've got 3 right now, and we're getting a 4th one. So Petit Chablis, Maurice Chevalier.
Oh, I remember
was-
him as a little girl.
Yeah, yes.
I always have someone more or less well known who goes with all the wines.
He was a singer, right?
He was a singer,
He
yeah.
was, yes.
Thank
Look,
heaven for
to the
little girls.
That's right. They came from little girls. Yeah, I knew that. All right, what is our third gem? I think we're going into the reds now. So I
Now
think
the
we
reds.
have to switch our glasses.
Now, this red is a blend. It varies from year to year. The 2017 is 50% Gamay, 50% Pinot Noir. The 2018 that we'll be getting later on this year is 80% Gamay, 20% Pinot Noir. This is a summer wine. In French, the French call it a vin de soif. In other words, it's a wine that you can drink when you're thirsty because you won't get a hangover. Very important. Now it's called La Ficelle because in French, ficelle means string. And it's got a 500-year-old story to it. There was Sire Gaultier in the village of Saint-Pourçain he was an innkeeper and he would put a pitcher of wine on the table and he'd tell his patrons, you drink, you pay for what you drink. So obviously at the end, there was a lot of dickering that went on because no one agreed with him. And they said they drank less, he said they drank more, so he came out with a string. And the string got knots on it. And so each knot represents a quarter of the bottle. They're sealed at both ends so no one can cheat. And so he would dip this string in the wine, and wherever it landed, that's what you paid for. And today in Paris, this is coming back as a trend. There are wine bars now in Paris who sell their wines à l'aficionado. In other words, you get a bottle, they put it on the table, and then they just dip it in and they measure it out.
That's great.
So
It's a great tradition. I
So you
love
can't
this.
do that in Connecticut because
Yeah.
you probably go to jail with all the convoluted alcohol
Wait a minute, we
laws
could try that
we
at
have
one of
here.
our BYOB restaurants.
Yeah, but
though.
yeah, we could do that at one of our parties.
So
That's excellent. That's funny.
in the early 80s, the cooperative in Saint-Pourcent decided to get all of the illustrators in France together, and every first weekend in December, they all take the train down from Paris, they go to Vichy and then to Saint-Pourcent, and they have a contest. And they draw the new label for the new vintage. So this is the 2017. And then in 2018 is kind of a take on a Norman Rockwell painting where Norman Rockwell is in front of the easel and he's painting himself, and you see that in the 2018. And they just have a great old time. They all get drunk, they all eat, and everyone has a good old time, and the winner has his drawing on the new label.
And this, to me, is exactly the kind of red that I would drink in the
I
summertime.
love this.
It's,
I'm gonna
really
admit
delicious.
to something that these Gamay Pinot Noir. Gamay, for those of you who've heard of Beaujolais Nouveau, you associate it with like bubblegum and bananas. That's not what this is. Gamay and Pinot Noir blends tend to be almost all Gamay and with a little bit of Pinot Noir. And what I will do, because I like the Pinot Noir, it gives it something else. I will cuvee these at my house. I will buy some Burgundy and I will blend it with these Gamay, and here's where we are, right here. This is 50-50. I'm loving this. This is
this
great.
is what this is you're sitting on your
That's how
deck.
nerdy I am.
Yeah.
You're just talking.
Yeah.
You don't even need food with this. This is absolutely
No.
delicious, just the way it is.
It's very earthy. I like it very much.
And a great story. Absolutely great story. And William, the price
Fantastic
point
story.
That's $14, $15.
Yeah, this is a very easy drinking summer red wine. One of the best summer reds that I've had in a while, I think.
And what's great about this one, so I'm glad William brought in that he is one of the people that sells this, is a lot of people don't think of sometimes reds in the summer. And if they do, they're probably thinking of the wrong type of reds to drink. This is the type of red you want to drink. It's subtle, it's smooth, it's light, and it doesn't need to be paired with food like a lot of reds do in the summertime.
When Mary does tastings, a lot of people say, no, I don't want to taste the red because it's the summer, and So now she's chilling it and having people taste it.
You have to chill Gamay.
you
Me
really?
more so than most people. Yeah. Oh,
I
this
kinda
for
like
me
it like
needs
this,
to be.
but
You
I
like it?
tend to drink my wines room
It's
temperature
subjective,
because they're
yeah.
more flavorful to me.
I think there's still,
it's
even
subjective.
it's been sitting out for about a half hour, so there's still a little bit of chill to it, but you would even drink this a little bit more chilled than what we currently
I chill Gamay whenever. I chill Pinot Noir too. Gamay Pinot. Any of the thin-skinned grapes, I chill them. I just think but that's a personal preference. There's no right or wrong to this for sure. But that's this one to me chilled about 20 degrees in the summertime is summertime red. I love summertime reds. It's easy to find rosé. It's easy to find white wines. But when I find a summer red, I like to
It
go to
stands out,
because
yeah.
I'm a red wine guy. And between the months of about end of May to end of September, I'm just like I want my reds, but I can't drink strong reds in the middle of summertime.
I
So
think if
this
you're
one's-
looking for like a switch this summer, do this all summer and abandon your Pinot Noir or some of your lighter
And
wines.
this
if
one,
you're
because you have a
doing-
great story to tell
Yeah.
your guests as you're
Yes.
pouring it for them, which I think is
With
a
the rope,
fantastic
yeah.
story.
I love it.
Absolutely fantastic.
really cool.
Well, I got to be honest with you. Thumbs up across the board so far. I don't even know what to expect from the
Delicious.
last one. I'm assuming that's going to blow our socks off too, because everything else has.
So this is a Côte de Rhône from the Bastide Saint-Dominique, and they make a Châteauneuf-du-Pape, and I took it because just to show people that these are some of the same grapes that you find in Châteauneuf-du-Pape.
Look at that color.
And
Wow.
You can actually get a Côte du Rhône with the taste of Châteauneuf-du-Pape, but at not the same price.
So what he's talking about is Grenache and Syrah typically dominate the Southern Rhône blends, Châteauneuf-du-Pape, Côte de Rhône.
And of course, just one thing, Saint-Pourcent was the wine of the French kings until the Renaissance, after the Renaissance. And today, a lot of people don't realize this, but it's not far from Vichy, France, where you had the difference between Free France and occupied France. So a lot of people would come into the village during the Second World War and try to get across the line into Free France as opposed to occupied France. And this Bastide Saint-Dominique, this is, you have the real taste. The Washington Post gave this a really good rating. And you have the La Garrigue, what in the Côte du Rhône, which they call La Garrigue, which is everything that surrounds the vines and the grapes. The rosemary, the thyme, the wild thyme, all of the herbs, the ground, and you got a full flavor. I mean,
This is a cornucopia of deliciousness.
Yeah, these
right
Southern Rhône ones, they have so much going on because when you're talking about single varietal, typically a wine will just be red fruit, cherry, or it'll be blue fruit, blueberry. But the Côte du Rhônes, they blend the red fruit in the Grenache and the blue fruit that you get in the Syrah. And then there's all that, the herbal qualities that come into it. Some people say it has a gamey quality, but there's just always so much going on. I love trying Côte du Rhônes, pretty much anything out of that region. This one's,
What I find interesting about
evaluating
this one,
what's going
William,
on.
is it's got a bite up front. The bite is right up front. Then it drops off, but the flavor is still there.
right.
Which is to me is fantastic. You might still call this a summer red also, easily to drink.
What fruits are you getting?
I'm getting a little currant, little blackberry.
That's it. I get the blackberry, but some people don't. Other people get, some red fruits or something like that.
Now the blackberry and currant, I would even say a tad bit of plum. I don't. A wine like this, is it going to get any different tasting if it is aerated or opens up a little more over time? Probably not, right?
No.
So the flavor that you're getting right off the bat is probably going to stay with it throughout your drinking experience with it.
And we opened it up like maybe an hour ago.
Yeah, I think it's a little bit more tart,
It's definitely more tart.
but the bouquet is like beautiful. So nice.
It's one of those wines where the bouquet is actually a little bit stronger than the taste.
Yeah, what you smell is not what you're going to taste.
I'm glad I brought these glasses. I generally don't bring two different glasses, but I knew because we were doing a French show and there's going to be some French reds. I had to have something that's going to give your nose an opportunity to get in that glass.
Yeah,
And this
one
benefited from that.
This one's got, for me, so this is 60%, I'm looking at it here, I'm cheating, 60% Grenache, 40% Syrah. For me, the Syrah stands out in this. And if I was tasting this blind, I would have said it's probably a Croz's Hermitage. But it's got a lot of that blackberry quality to it. It's really good. I don't have there's not a lot of that Grenache red fruit that's coming through. There's a little bit of it, but this is, you've not had a dud in the bunch tonight for me. That's for sure, because I like this one.
So this is a gold medal winner from Elle magazine. This is a silver medal from the Chablis Association. This is in a league all by itself. And this one, gold medal from the Independent Winemakers.
Well, this is our 4th or 5th French wine show in 8.5 years. And I thought we've had some good French. I mean, Jim, when he was in France, we did the Alsace region whites on the show. And I thought he had some gems on that he actually brought back from France. But William, you've topped them all.
This is
gotta be honest
terrific.
with you.
Yeah.
Every wine has really, I want to say surprised me, because I'm always expecting good French wine. Knocked my socks off both in quality and price point. I mean, did we get to the last one with the price point?
No, the plus one is around from $12 to $16 a bottle.
That's unbelievable.
Côte du Rhône,
So great.
for my money, Côte du Rhônes and the Super Tuscans are the two wines that are the best bargains that you'll ever get in wine.
I know you
Just
talked about the
for-
Super Tuscans
yeah.
before. We've never really done just
That's-
a Super Tuscan show, but
Yeah. The Côte du Rhônes
Well,
are great.
I gotta say, I just love that you chose to do a French wine show because when I go shopping, you don't see them and they're not promoted as much as the Californian wines. And I think that there's great wines out there. I just don't know what they are. But now I have a little kind of hint, and I know what I'll be drinking this summer.
the labels sometimes intimidate most American buyers because they don't know what it's saying or where they're from. And it doesn't take much, like you watch a show like this, or even if you're doing research, to realize don't be intimidated by the label. I mean, just buy it because you're going to like it.
Yeah,
So-
I think people have to be curious and say, have a go. It's just a bottle. it's whatever. If you don't like it, you try something else. But be curious and just try things. Just because you don't see them as often at people's barbecues or whatever, I think you bring something like this and you have a great story, and then you introduce more people into French wines. I think it's a great idea.
So William, as we wrap things up here, because the time goes by so fast, would you like to tell our audience first, do you have a website or how they can contact, or where do you sell your wines and so forth?
Well, we sell our wines right now. I'm going to talk like a New Yorker now, downstate for the time being, Fairfield, New Haven counties, and we're working our way up slowly but surely. We're in places we're in Fairfield. We're in 3 or 4 stores, Greenfield Hill, and in Hamden, Wine 101. They have. I don't know if you've ever been to Wine 101.
I have not.
It's a really fun place. They have tastings all the time. Cork and Barrel, Odd Bins in New Haven, College Wine.
And Harvest, you said restaurant.
And we're in all the Harvest restaurants, South Bay, New Haven, Greenwich, the Cast Iron Chef on State Street in New Haven, and Cava in Darien, and Sina in New Canaan, or the other way around, and 55 Wine Bar in Fairfield right now.
Well, I wish you the best of success, and I want to thank
And
you.
September in Bangkok. Great place if you like Thai food.
I do love Thai food. And
Bobby likes his
Thai food's
Thai
a tough
food.
one to pair
Yes.
wine with. Usually you got to drink whites with Thai food.
And he's doing some great things with our wines
That's phenomenal to know.
on State Street.
All right.
Well, Viviane, I want to thank you for joining us. Now, you just got back from Russia, so thank you. And I hope
Thank you.
William, you just came back from France yesterday, and I want to thank William for driving up from West Haven, bringing his delicious wines and joining us with
Thank you for
fantastic
having me.
tasting. And Rocky, thank you, of course, for being the new co-host and offering your technical insight. Why me and Viviane just suck it all in down this end.
Exactly.
So I want to thank you guys all for watching another great episode of Two Guys and a Lot of Wine. And I want to thank my guests, Viviane Grady, William Chegwidden, and Rocky Holland, my new co-host. So until next time, keep all of us in your wine cellar.